Now I would like to invite to our stage a wonderful lady who actually has spent the past 20 years traveling, and I think she can give us I think her bird's eye view of what she thinks of Pakistan and where she thinks the tourism industry of Pakistan is heading. She is an American who is currently in Pakistan. She's an American travel blogger. She's going to be speaking on behalf of CM Tam Kamal. I'm talking about the absolutely brilliant blogger Angela Carlson.
Hi, good morning, or good afternoon now, I think. I used to say to friends and family who contacted me showing a little concern for the fact that I was in Pakistan, that being force-fed too much by kind Pakistanis was my biggest fear, but now it's speaking in public, so that's changed. That's great. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Balochistan today. I've been in the country for almost 4 months now, and where Pakistan is misunderstood on the world stage, I feel like Balochistan is misunderstood here domestically. And with no disrespect to any of the other states that I've visited, Balochistan for me is just the most wonderful. I think it's the only state that can compete with the North for tourism. I think it has the most potential, and I just want to share a little bit about my experience. Oh, hold on. I am an American. I haven't lived in America in quite a while. I've lived in 8 different countries and traveled 38 countries. And Pakistan is by far one of the biggest adventures that I've had. Oh, wait, can you go back? Yes. So I was living on a small island in Indonesia when I came to Pakistan in November. I realized that for some odd reason, no one had ever documented luxury travel here. And that's my niche. I write for magazines like Condé Nast Traveler, Travel and Leisure, Esquire, Maxim, about fabulous 5-star hotels around the world. So I have now reviewed and shot video for my YouTube channel every 5-star hotel in each of the main cities, and I'm now venturing out to more remote locations. But it's been luxury travel which brought me to Pakistan, but it's also been Balochistan that's kind of keeping me here. I've also been really fortunate to visit some really unique, well, I've had some unique experiences. Like, some of the friends that I've made have enabled me to attend the Cholistan Desert Rally. I was actually a guest of, thank you, Nadir Maxi, and I stayed in his tent village for a week. I was the only woman that I saw outside of the rally, the female rally racers. And I stayed in Nadir Maxi's camp for a week with all of these great guys who were like annoying big and little brothers to me by the end of it. But I've had a really wonderful time. I want to show you a couple of minutes of my adventures in Balochistan, and then I'll talk to you a bit more. Okay, that is 3 minutes of 2 weeks. Thank you. So that is just 3 minutes of 2 weeks of marvelous adventures that I had. And what I want to convey, because I do feel like nationally there's a big misunderstanding about Balochistan. When you think of Southern California or you think of California, I doubt that you think of a violent place. I think you probably think of palm tree lined big streets and Hollywood, San Francisco, the beaches, all of those places that iconically people think of when they think of California. That's where I was born. It is a deadly, deadly place if you compare it to Balochistan. I had some number. Can you go back to the page with, okay, they're not gonna go back. Basically, if I remember correctly, last year we had about 3,000 deaths from firearms in California. That doesn't include all the violent crimes, but firearms, you take half of that, which are suicides, it leaves you with 1,500 deaths by guns in California. In Balochistan, the number last year was 168. If you look at the difference between the perceptions of how people see Balochistan versus California, again, it's just media perceptions that are making us feel this way about Balochistan. It's a beautiful, peaceful place that has very little violence. And if you compare just those two places and the perceptions, things need to change. The dialogue around Balochistan needs to change. So I know we were all waiting a bit, so I'm gonna just speed through some of this. But I did have the most wonderful first trip to Balochistan. I'm now about 2 weeks away from heading back again. And when I go back, let's see, next one. Yeah, 2 more weeks. I have 11 videos planned. And I'm going to places like Astola Island, which is the largest island in Pakistan, which I've heard somehow has a ghost story alongside it, that it popped up out of the sea one day. But it's the first marine protected area. I plan on taking snorkeling gear and just diving off the beach and showing the amazing marine life. I'll also be going to Gwadar. I have purposely avoided going to the north and going to Gwadar. I've been here almost 4 months. I haven't been to either, because that's where everybody tells every tourist to go. And I don't like doing what people tell me to do, partially. But I do want to showcase the stadium. I think it's just the most beautiful cricket stadium in the world now. Las Bella is also the home to the most camels, and there's amazing local artisan dairy farmers there that I want to showcase. And then, yeah, I'm gonna head over to my buddy Nadir and Amir's province and go check out Jalmaxi. It looks like there's some amazing places to view there as well. So, in a nutshell, you can go down. Go to the next one. Yeah. So what next, right? For Balochistan, I'm a digital marketing expert by day. It's what I've done for 25 years. There needs to be some serious rebranding because I feel like for Pakistan, it needs a lot of help as well. There needs to be a global campaign similar to what Saudi Arabia is doing right now. They're really making a push and they're making a splash. That's not happening here in Pakistan yet, although there are improvements being made. But for Balochistan, there needs to be an internal branding campaign to change the minds of all of you and get you to see Balochistan in the same way that I see it. I know that some people won't want to hear this, but the conversation around alcohol needs to come up as well, not just for Balochistan, but for Pakistan, because most of us like to have a glass of wine with our meals. And if you want to attract international tourism, there needs to be a mindset shift around that. And the five-star hotels that do provide alcohol or do make that available need to not be afraid of the fundamentalist groups coming back and pushing back on them. There needs to be easier access to, It is a pain in the rear to get into Balochistan and to travel. I jumped through more hoops to make that trip than any other trip I've ever had. Can you go back to the last one? Sorry. Okay. And there needs to be more travel companies. So if you have a travel company and you're sitting in this room, think about opening an office in Quetta. Because right now there's basically one travel company that rules the province. I was with them on my first trip. They can't accommodate me on my second trip. And I'm kind of screwed right now because there really isn't another company there. And that needs to change because I can't wait to be back there in 2 weeks, but I'm finding it a challenge right now. And investment is definitely key. There are amazing entrepreneurs out there looking for investment. There needs to be hotels. The tourism department needs to invest more in infrastructure, like they've done in Pir Gabe and other places, putting in toilets and making it a little bit more accessible for women and children as well. But that is what I wanted to tell you about Balochistan. I do appreciate you giving me these few minutes to share my love for the region. And I do hope that thinking about California and doing a little research will help shift some of the mindsets. So thank you very much.
Interesting बात ये है, thank you so much Angela for sharing that with us, कि मुझे नहीं पता था कि एक आइलैंड भी है हमारे मुल्क में ऐसा. बहुत अफसोस की बात है, ये मैं हंसते हुए कह रही हूँ, लेकिन ये हंसी ज़्यादा शर्मिंदगी की है. हमें खुद ही नहीं पता कि हमारा मुल्क कितना खूबसूरत है. बाहर से लोग आते हैं और वो हमें बताते हैं. हमें तो उनको बताना चाहिए. कैलिफोर्निया इसलिए अपीलिंग है हमारे लिए. हम जब सोचते हैं कि हम पाकिस्तान से बाहर जाएंगे, हम अमेरिका जाएंगे, बिकॉज अमेरिका इज़ प्रोजेक्टेड वेरी पॉजिटिवली ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. ग्लोबल कैंपेन की ज़रूरत है, लेकिन ग्लोबल कैंपेन कोई बाहर से तो नहीं आके क्रिएट करेगा. हम पाकिस्तानी खुद क्रिएट करेंगे. हम अपने मुल्क को क्यों नहीं ओन करते? हर किसी को बाहर की इमिग्रेशन लेनी है, बाहर जाना है किसी भी तरह, बाय हुक और बाय क्रुक, और बाहर जाते हैं तो फिर वापस आने का नाम नहीं लेते. वहाँ पे हम लेबर का काम करने के लिए तैयार हैं, लेकिन अपने मुल्क से इज़्ज़त की रोज़ी रोटी नहीं कमाना चाहते, क्योंकि बाहर की एक इमेज पोर्ट्रे की गई है. तो एंजेला ने बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट रेज़ किया कि एक ग्लोबल कैंपेन की ज़रूरत है, और उस कैंपेन में हमारा कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर अगर इन्वेस्ट करे, ऑफ कोर्स सारी जिम्मेदारी कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर पे नहीं पड़ती, बट वो भी करे, जनरल पब्लिक भी एक पॉजिटिव इम्प्रेशन दे पाकिस्तान की, اور ہم انٹرنیشنلی بھی اپنے ملک کو نیگیٹیولی نہ ہائی لائٹ کریں. جو بھی ڈاکیومنٹریز بنتی ہیں وہ ظلم اور زیادتی اور نیگیٹیوٹی پہ بنتی ہے, وہ بھی ضروری ہے, لیکن دیٹ کانٹ بی دی اونلی نیریٹو ریلیٹڈ ٹو پاکستان. Which is why I think the Islamabad Tourism Festival 2021, this amazing initiative by the Cutting Edge Group and PHPA is, I think, right on the ball. اب آگے ہم کیا کرتے ہیں, وہ جو کہتے ہیں نا کہ بال ہمارے کورٹ میں پھینک دیا گیا ہے, ہن تسی اگے کی کرنا ہے, اس کے بارے میں سوچنا پڑے گا.